So now we're going to start talking about how economic policy affects these three objectives: stabilizing prices, decreasing unemployment, and increasing economic growth, or vice versa. How these policies can affect the stabilization of prices, unemployment, and economic growth. So the rate of growth of the money supply is an important consideration in achieving each of these three policy goals. As the supply of loanable funds shift outward, so as the supply of money increases, often you find that you have a larger supply of loanable funds, causing it to shift outward. If the supply of loanable funds shifts outward, interest rates will fall and the volume of loans will increase. An outward shift in the supply of loanable funds causes interest rates to fall and the volume of loans to increase. The supply of loanable funds is affected by the money supply. So an increase in the money supply causes a shift in the supply of loanable funds outward, increasing or decreasing interest rates, increasing quantity of loans. Lower interest rates mean lower payments. So if you're a farmer and then you figure out that you can get lower interest, meaning that you have lower payments on a particular good, and now maybe you're able to afford something that you previously weren't able to. This leads to more purchases. So, if you increase the money supply, then the supply of loanable funds shift outward. That decreases interest rates, increasing the volume of loans. Lower interest rates mean lower payments, more purchases. So an increase in the money supply means more items are going to be bought. So what does that lead to? If you have more purchases, you're a farmer, you're buying more, you can go out and buy more tractors. You can buy this 20-row plow versus the 15-row plow that you were using. You're able to go out and buy more equipment that makes you more productive, more efficient. So you buy this, say, a 20-row plow. This allows more production. 5 more rows per pass. Or you can go out and buy, say, another example is you can go out and buy 2 tractors. You go out and buy another tractor to where now you need one more person working the tractor, to where now more workers are needed. What happens? Employment rises. Economic growth takes place, and full employment becomes more of a possibility. So, let's go ahead and talk about it as if you're a farmer, and now you can go out and buy 2 tractors. Lower interest rates means you go out and you buy this second tractor, meaning now, and you can go out and buy more land. So now you have more production. What is more production? What do you need in order to produce more? Oftentimes you need more labor, more resources. So you're now hiring more people. So you need more workers. This causes employment to rise. Unemployment falls. Economic growth. You have economic growth taking place. Full employment becomes more of a possibility. So, lower interest rates. As you increase the money supply, you find lower interest rates, and you find that unemployment begins to fall, as well as economic growth begins to rise. The rate of economic growth rises as the money supply is increased, because that drops interest rates. This shows that merely expanding the money supply macroeconomic policies are more easily met. Full employment can be achieved and economic growth improves. By simply increasing the money supply, you have full employment and you have economic growth, higher economic growth. But even though we talked about rapid economic growth and full employment, we're forgetting one of the three objectives: stable prices. We want to avoid inflation. So, rapid economic growth and full employment are a result of more money, or a higher money supply. Rapid growth and employment, unfortunately, often results in inflation. Remember, inflation is a decreasing purchasing power of currency. As we have inflation, we figure out that those on fixed incomes, their standard of living now decreases. The economy as a whole may be growing, and unemployment may be going down, but now your standard of living is also decreasing. So, an increased money supply leads to more economic growth and lower unemployment, but it also leads to higher prices for goods. Why does it lead for higher prices for goods? Well, if you think about it, if more people are employed and interest rates are low and people are buying a whole lot of stuff, unemployment is low, the economy is growing, that's signaling an increase in the aggregate demand for goods. Because of the low interest rates, people are buying more vehicles, or buying more cars, or buying more goods, or buying more products. There's more people employed to where they can actually go out and buy more agriculture products, more food, more everything. But at the same time, because everybody's demanding so much, the overall demand for all of these goods begins to increase. As the demand for these goods increase, the aggregate demand for these goods increase, we see prices increase. This overall leads to inflation. Because the economy is growing and unemployment is down, people now have more money and they are demanding more of these products in order to make more money, causing inflation. So, the goals of macroeconomic policies to stabilize prices, achieve full employment, and to achieve economic growth. It's like a magic trick. It's really difficult to obtain all three of these at the same time. Why? Because if you're obtaining full employment and economic growth, that leads to a higher aggregate demand of products, causing prices to increase, causing inflation. But if you have stable prices and you're actually trying to decrease inflation, it often leads into a recession, which increases in unemployment and decreases economic growth. So, financial intermediaries create a market for money. Demand for loans by potential home buyers, car buyers, or businesses for plant expansions. Remember, this is interest and the quantity of loans demanded. If interest is real high, the amount of loans that they demand is going to be real low. But as interest rates as they decrease, the quantity that they demand starts becoming higher. On the other side, the quantity of loans or supply of loanable funds is created by potential savers. So as interest rates increase, the amount that people are willing